What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. To break down what's going on with the economic calendar thus far, which you should be watching for as time progresses, and some very important levels on Tesla, SPY, and all these other tickers. But before I break into all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to the market. So looking at SPY has been continuing to push, breaking all-time highs, and reached that 500 level, which is the level we called out. But I want to warn everyone to be careful as we're hitting these new territories and just watch and see how SPY reacts. Can we break 500 and pass these levels, or do we end up getting stopped? So watch that carefully. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to be breaking down more details about this later. The S&P 500 is continuing on to rip to the upside, and I'll break down more details a little bit later as well. For PepsiCo, they ended up topping estimates for earnings, but their quarterly revenue was not the best and guidance was not that great. But the share price is still kind of flat right now. EPS was $1.78. Revenue is about 27.85 billion, a little bit below expectations. I'll break down more details a little bit later about this. The S&P 500 crossed 5,000 for the first time in the final minutes of trading on Thursday, but it came back down for a record close of 49.97, which is great news for them. The Dow also broke the record. The Nasdaq is also very, very close and continuing to, break its highs over and over again. And we're going to be looking at new all-time highs for all of them. Looking at this right now, we had some earnings which are very important. Pinterest and PepsiCo have come out. They basically were very similar mixed earnings. PepsiCo is the one that had a decent EPS but a weaker revenue, and so did Pinterest, not the strongest revenue. And then their guidance was just not the strongest, kind of mixed here and there. PepsiCo said that for the first half of the year, their guidance might not be that strong because of new recalls and such. But as time goes on, things could still be decent. So that's very important. Google is basically rebranding its artificial intelligence chatbots after its latest AI development, which is good news for it. This is going to be available very, very soon. Prices on cocoa are at all-time highs after bad weather dented West African crop yields. Not the best of news, and this is also affecting companies like PepsiCo. On top of this, the airport lounge is getting more exclusive at Delta Airlines. The carrier is introducing premium tier lounges, so that's interesting stuff as well. Anyways, that's it for the market. Those are the main pieces of news. Please know that today is Friday, February 9th, and then we don't really have much data, but at 1:30 p.m., we have one of the most hawkish Fed speakers. We have Loken giving a speech, so be a little bit careful from this point. We'll have to see how it goes. The market's continuing to rip, but we're at extreme greed, so this just means to be very careful. As far as SPY goes, I just want to call out that as of right now, we have just a little bit over 875,000 of these puts expiring, and we have just under 440,000 calls expiring. So the put to call ratio is at 2.00, and right now the majority positions are puts, and we're starting to see market makers squeeze them temporarily. I do think SPY is going to close at one of these higher levels, but my only warning is just to be a little careful once we hit the resistance. We'll have to see how SPY does from there. So let me just say that SPY is going to gap up, but watch 500 as resistance. If we could break this, again, this is the reason why I'm being a little bit ambiguous, is because we're at 500. We've never been in the 500s before on SPY, so you want to be very careful and be careful if we're seeing some profit taking or not. But if we end up breaking above 500, our next target is going to be 501. If that breaks, I think we could go all the way up to 503. And if that breaks, 505 could come. So I'm going to be watching these levels. But watch 500 to 501 first. Those are going to be two important resistance levels. If you reject, SPY could return to 499. It's going to basically come all the way down towards if we lose 499, 498 is going to be our next target. The chop zone from yesterday. It's already made a big move. We hit 501. We're going to be watching to see if we get a rejection or not. At this point, guys, I think SPY is on a very, very bullish tear. The trend is still bullish, but watch and see how we end up reacting to 500 once we open. That is very tricky to predict because it depends on the reactions we get, and it depends on profit taking and factors like that. But SPY is still bullish overall. QQQ is also bullish, approaching new highs, but watch basically 435.5 all the way around here. That's going to be our next resistance. It's basically between 435 and 436. If you get above 436, I could see this thing pushing for 438. If that breaks, 440 is our next target. If we break down, we're going to be watching this imbalance towards 432.8, then 432, and then 430 below that. Overall, QQQ is on a very, very nice uptrend. It's still holding up nicely. So we're going to be watching to see how well we hold in this new territory. We've never been at these highs before. So watch this 435 resistance. Can we break above this and push for 436? And if so, we could push even higher. So watch that very carefully. How about Tesla? How's Tesla looking? Overall, one could argue that Tesla has this like resistance that's approaching it, but I don't want to focus on resistance just yet. In terms of Tesla getting a big rejection, I just want to say that Tesla's on an uptrend right now, a very short term small uptrend for now. Okay, the bigger picture does show resistance at these higher levels, which do align towards like 195. It looks like it's going to become very symmetrical up here. We might get a little sell off when we open to grab this liquidity, but I do think it could push a little higher. So this is the very small uptrend I'm talking about. But then I'm going to talk more about it once we get to this 195 resistance. Things are going to be very tight here because this is where we got this rejection. So can Tesla tear upwards? Yes, it can. Might come down to grab liquidity in the 188, very, very high levels, then start pushing up. I think we're going to eventually make our way up towards that resistance up there at 195. I think that's my target on Tesla. I'm going to be watching resistance up there. I'm calling this level out because it's like right here. This is the next key level of resistance. This is where we got projected previously. So Tesla is bullish for the short term, but be careful because if SPY and the QQQ finally reject soon, that could change things. I'm not saying it happened yet. So we're still bullish, of course, but I just want to give you guys a warning. That's what I've been saying in my previous videos. For Nvda is still bullish. We're trying to form a cup and handle. It's still attempting to form it, but we haven't been able to get a breakout yet, right? This is like our little cup, a little handle with a nice double bottom. Can we break 707? If we break it, 707 to 710, we'll be looking for a push towards 712 and 715. Watch support at 700. If we lose this, we could be coming back down towards 693, all the way down to the support right here. If we end up losing this, we're going to be sinking back down towards 687. So watch Nvidia carefully. We have a nice double bottom like formation. It does look bullish right now, but just to be safe, let's see if we can break above the 710s to new all-time highs and get a breakout. We have a cup and handle like formation that gives it potential, but watch and see just to be safe. It's always important to watch your levels and to be very cautious. Now for Aapl, I want to call out Aapl because Aapl has been kind of shuffling in this range, but we're starting to uptrend a little bit. Watch resistance at 189, watch support at 188. If you lose that, 186.5 is coming. So right now, be careful with Aapl, guys, because even though Aapl is trying to push upwards, there's a possible left shoulder here, possible head and right shoulder forming. We have to try to break 190 to turn bullish. If we fail to do so and we reject here, we could be forming a head and shoulders. So be a little bit careful, guys. Make sure you watch this carefully. Do we lose this 188 area? That we'll just have to wait and see. So look for a possible head and shoulders. In order for us to turn bullish, we have to break 190. To be bearish, you want to see it lose 186.5. There's a possible head and shoulders, so be careful, but we'll have to wait and see for confirmation if Aapl truly gets this rejection. There's no guarantee just yet. So that being said, thank you all so much for listening. Have a great, absolutely spectacular rest of the day, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you and peace out.